Hello and welcome. This is rooflemonger, my friends. Today I want to talk about Art of Fighting 3. Not exactly a classic fighting game that gets talked a lot about on the channel, of the big fighting games of the mid to late 90s, like Street Fighter 3, King of Fighters 98. This game isn't one of them. Not to say it's a bad game, far from. It's actually a very interesting and very beautiful game. The aesthetic, the sprite work, like Art of Fighting 3 is some of the best ever of the 90s fighting games. And in this video, we're going to go into some Art of Fighting 3 stuff, but why are we? Because Art of Fighting 3 is doing something sort of weird. Not too long from now, it's getting a $100,000 tournament. That's a lot of money for an old retro fighting game that frankly, a lot of you might not have even have heard of. For comparison, that's a bigger prize pool, $100,000 for this game from 1996. It's a bigger prize pool than this year's Evo for Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, and Tekken combined. Not bad for an almost 30-year-old game, I think you would agree. So how is this happening? Well, of course, it's SNK. SNK sort of does big prize pools. And the SNK World Championships are coming up. They're actually right around the corner. Gonna be held at Dreamhack Atlanta this year, starting on October the 31st, Halloween. And if you aren't too far away, I suggest maybe attending. Because if you show up for Art of Fighting 3, even if you don't know the game that well, you still got a pretty okay chance at winning some money. Lots of money for first place, winning a 30-year-old game, getting 50K American, that sounds pretty okay to me. But they're paying out for a lot of places, unlike, say, Evo, where if you don't make top 8, you don't get any money at all. They're paying out even 9th and beyond. If you get 9th to 12th, you can get $1,000. If you get 32nd, you will still get a couple $100. Like, why not try at least is what I'm saying. If I was in the area, I'd be going anyways, but regardless. So a lot of money for a weird old game, right? So let's talk the game itself. What's up with Art of Fighting 3? So naturally enough, it's the third game of the Art of Fighting franchise, but there's some weird things about it. So on its face, sort of fighting game 101, right? Like, hey, it's a fighting game. It's an SNK game in particular. So A, B, C, and D buttons, jumps, short hops, because, that's how SNK do, right? And some other things to note here. What makes Art of Fighting very different from other fighting games is your super bar, your spirit bar, as it's called in Art of Fighting. You have it full from round start, and all special moves use it. And it's almost like a gas meter in a way. When it's lower, like when it's getting blue, moves, you can still do them, but they're not as good. And when it's just all the way low, your moves don't come out. Like your fireball here, you can see here, it's not coming out. And you're thinking, wait a second, isn't that sort of like Dan from Street Fighter? The way he's throwing the fireball? And yeah, Dan actually specifically was invented to make fun of Art of Fighting. The dude you're looking at right now, Dan's a combination of him and Robert. And that includes the taunts. Taunts is a big part of Art of Fighting because taunts lower the opponent's spirit gauge, their super bar. And yes, you can manually recharge it at the cost of standing still. But yeah, the spirit bar stuff in and of itself is pretty different than how other fighting games do things. But there's a lot more than just that. Like, things in this game that don't exist in other games and for good reason, like ultimate KOs. So, Wang here does his big super, his desperation attack here, and hey, he wins. Okay. Nothing wrong with that in and of itself. Player 2 wins. Oh, hey, here's my win thing. Big problem with this. So let's slow the match footage down here. Notice Ryo. Ryo has a win round icon because he's up a round, 2 out of 3 rounds. Wang doesn't because he's won no rounds. And yet, he wins. Because an ultimate KO, if you hit someone with your super when someone's very low health, you just win the set. You just win, regardless of the round count. Now, you would say maybe, well, that's not very fair, and buddy, there's a lot of things about Art of Fighting 3 that aren't very fair. Like, say, core fighting game concept, right? Hold back the block. Problem with that is, most of the cast has unblockable super moves, and they are fast enough that they will catch you. Just part of the game design. And hey, speaking of that, actually, So when a character gets lower health, they have like a rage bonus. You do more damage. Common concept in all fighting games. But there's also the birthday bonus. where, legitimately, if you are playing on the character's birthday, they get the low health damage bonus regardless of what their actual health is. So if you're playing on their birthday, you're playing as a broken version of the character. Now, I did check this for journalistic integrity. Fortunately, or perhaps unfortunately, because it'd be a lot funnier if it was the case, nobody's birthday is on the time when this $100,000 tournament is running live. But just, imagine, right? Other weird things about the game is it has a weight system, which has mostly fallen out of favor in the modern day. Like the last modern game to have it would have been Guilty Gear Strive, and they patched that out fairly early into the game's life. And it's just mostly nonsensical. Like between Kasumi and Wang, right? Kasumi weighs more than Wang does. Does that make much sense? Well, Weiler, who's like a big steroid freak character, he's the lightest character in the game. So no, not a lot of this makes sense. Actually, on that note, Weiler. So he's the game's boss, and I do have it on authority. He is banned for this upcoming $100,000 tournament. He's basically the meme character. So you're seeing footage here. A lot of game centers would run tournaments on Weiler's birthday. So he would get the birthday bonus, right? And he's basically just his jab. His jab gives him full combos. It launches on counter hit. It's his entire game plan for the most part. He's mostly banned for virtue of being the boss character, because like some tier lists would have Kasumi higher than him anyways. Or Lenny, the whip girl, right? But he's in the running for maybe most brain dead top tier of all of fighting game history is what I'm trying to say. He's very silly like that. So running tournaments in his honor where you have the birthday buff live and you just play Weiler, like, I don't know, that's my kind of silly. Unfortunately, there's no $100,000 birthday Weiler only tournament yet, but maybe one day in the future. I don't think there's much else you're going to see to get a crowd explode more than something like this. So this video is not meant to be a full guide to Art of Fighting 3 or anything like that. If you want something like that, a mechanics guide, SNK already put up a video for that. I'll link that in the video description for you if you want to check that out. I'm just here to highlight, hey, $100,000 tournament's nothing to sneeze at, right around the corner. It's a lot of money for a fighting game, especially for an old fighting game with a lot of weirder rules to it. There's a lot of money in fighting game tournaments these days, but they're for the newer games, right? Not so much the almost 30-year-old ones. And, for the older games, this isn't one of the more famous ones. So the fact Art of Fighting specifically is getting such a big tournament, I just think it's something to note. I think it's something to watch out for. It's interesting at bare minimum. We do know there is a new Art of Fighting in development along with a new Samurai Showdown. SNK announced that some years ago now. As for what it's going to be, what it's going to look, who knows? We're still a while. It's technically announced, but we don't have anything like a trailer or even any idea what the game's like yet. But there is a future to Art of Fighting. And perhaps it starts here with this 100K tournament. So it's something to watch out for. I just think this is something to note, something interesting, something you should look out for. So I just want to highlight it because, man, it's weird, isn't it? But anyways, that is it for the news. That is it for the video. If you want some other links to the tournament itself or some other footage for Art of Fighting 3, please check in the video description below. And all that said, hey, thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well, and go out and play some Art of Fighting.